One of the services you provide is giving people something to talk about. Let them talk. It makes them happy. It makes them feel good. They don't believe half the shit they say. People want to talk. Yeah.
We missed y'all.
We did. We've been ready. It's been ready. Just want to throw that out there.
Which is why he's over there today.
Right. He's been booted off the island.
There's been a lot going on.
We ain't got our computer. We don't know if the audio is working.
It's working. It's working. A lot going on. Shantae graduated.
Hey, I forgot all about that.
Congratulations, boo.
Mastering the masters.
Ew.
Hey.
I had a birthday.
Yes, you
Happy
did.
birthday.
Yes, you did. He gonna tell us about the party on the day of, 2
He ain't
hours
really
before
want
it
us to come.
starts.
He ain't really want us to come. I don't know how I feel about that.
I ain't getting no plate or
That's okay.
nothing.
That's all right.
And Red just took over Ruba.
Hey,
That's
listen,
right.
Listen,
After
shut her down. Aruba
starting
owes
and
me
bopping.
nothing.
And he came back 6
Got
pounds
this
heavier.
tan. You see this tan?
We said.
Yeah. Yes, but we here.
Yes.
We glad to be here. Talk about a little something for y'all.
And we ain't gonna be here all day.
We ain't
I'm
gonna
just
be
put
here
that
all
on
day.
camera now.
FYO. Fuck Your Opinion podcast. Today's
Episode 8. Did 7 ever get
Seven.
uploaded?
7.
Did we record
We
seven?
did.
We did
This is
record 7 tonight.
Nah,
we recorded
6.
6. It was like we put the one we didn't record. We just skipped it and kept the numbers going. That was That was like 4.
All right,
Something
7.
So
Lucky
here we
number 7.
Lucky number 7. And
So today's episode is about relationships. What the hell are y'all doing out here?
He said
y'all.
He said y'all.
He said y'all.
Why he say y'all though?
Why he say y'all?
I'm gonna try to keep all my opinions that ain't got nothing to do with all this shit to myself. Because in all
Talk about a lot of
actuality,
stuff going
right,
on.
in all actuality, there's one important piece that didn't make the list that should be on there.
We'll bring that up in a future episode.
Yeah, I want him to be as vigilant about that topic as he is about this R. Kelly one.
Mm-hmm. Still a cookie.
These
All
are
right,
all the
so-
cookies, by the way. Just want to let you know.
At the end of them, ain't no more.
It's a whole box.
Oh.
That's why he's still there.
I said they old. I said all.
All
said
the
all.
all the
cookies. He made them
Y'all gonna stop coming for Aldi. My mama likes Aldi. Aldi is under Trader Joe's.
Listen, everybody love hollering about how Aldi is under Trader Joe's.
First of all, I don't go
Okay.
to Aldi's. I'm just saying.
But people in the late 80s and the 90s that was poor, we know all about Aldi way before Trader Joe's picked it up. And that's when, if you only had $7, you could feed a family of 11 going to Aldi.
But they it's the same family.
Nah.
No, they're brothers. The owners. It's the same thing. It's like the high end and the low end of the same company.
Nah.
No, okay.
People are just now getting on to Aldi. Meanwhile,
But we just got it here. We didn't have it here. Y'all might have been having it in
Yeah,
Chicago.
we had it in
we only
Chicago.
had
It was-
Aldi here about
and
what,
you
5
should've-
years.
and white
maybe?
folks had their nose up.
Yeah.
Like, Aldi, I didn't go in there. Now here now. Oh my gosh, it's under Trader Joe's. Yeah. I remember you from 20 years
I
ago,
remember.
Helen. I remember you. Linda.
All right, so relationships. We're going to talk about. We're going to fill around a little bit, but we're going to open up with are we learning how to have better relationships? And I pulled that one kind of from
This is my imaginary hairless cat that I'm.
Well, that one kind of from one of my girlfriends. Shout out to Miss Lena. She put up a post that was asking, are we, we have all these conversations on Facebook and in the blogs and everything about, women are asking men questions and men are asking women questions about how to relate, how to understand each other. What do you need from us? What do we want from you? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And she posed a question, are we taking that information and are we using it to better ourselves, to have better relationships? Like, are we asking these questions so that when we interact with the opposite sex, are we using this information? Are we actually using the information, or are we just having a conversation for the sake of having a conversation?
We just having a conversation. Social media has really screwed up relationships. It really truly has. The options are just, they're endless. And I think that relationships is something that is a never-ending topic. So people just really like to talk about it because it's one of those things. Something. There's always something that you could bring up.
Okay.
So when people say, are we learning how to be in better relationships? No. We're not.
We're doing the same old shit.
We're doing the same thing because, side note, is no one cleaned out the fish tank since the last time?
It do look a little murky. So that fish tank that y'all can hear running a couple episodes back.
My gosh.
It's behind the camera so we can see, and
they might be planning an escape.
Apparently,
like
it's bothering her eyesight.
They must be planning an escape. Like, what was that? What was that, Dora too? What was that? What was
Finding Dory?
Finding Dory, yes.
I never saw that one.
Go to bed.
I love Finding Nemo. I just never saw Finding
yes,
Dory.
There was a part in the movie, for people that saw, where they like murked up the fish tank. So when the people came in to clean it out, that was when they made.
One. That was Finding Nemo.
Was that Finding Nemo?
Yes, I saw that one. That was Finding Nemo.
Okay.
That was when they jumped out the window.
Well, this is clearly a Finding Nemo type of situation. See, our co-star has walked out into the conversation.
You don't want to have this conversation with us?
But anyway, but yes, I don't know what I was saying, but it was something along the lines of relationships being
we're doing the same thing.
Tainted by social media. And because of that, I think that people just like to include their little 2 cents, but then they go back and they kind of do the same thing over and over again. I mean, and it's not just it's not just under the dating realm of relationships. That comes with friendships.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's everything. I think that people have gone really crazy over this terminology of toxic, fill in the blank here, and then they just.
If I see toxic femininity or toxic masculinity one more goddamn
this
time.
You're toxic. Yeah, it's like they just learned the word or something. I don't know what's going on, but. I think that the question is, are we learning to better our relationships? I don't think so. I think that it's just something that we just kind of talk about, but we don't be about.
I think that in one aspect, I have in learning how to manage my friendships, those relationships. I think I have learned how to have better friendships and relationships in that way, and mostly in just. What I've always done, but
because I was just talking to somebody about friendship, so give me the notes. Give me the tea.
Just managing your expectations and knowing your audience, and how to deal with, your friendships. Because every friend isn't going to think the same way. Every friend isn't going to respond the same way. You're not going to have the same relationship with every person, period, whether it's a relationship or a friendship. But since I was speaking of friendships, because that relationship thing ain't my lane. I've learned how to be, and I'm still learning, but I think that over the years I have learned how to be a better friend. So I know that if there's this friend, like, we can only poke at her for like 2 minutes, and then we have to move on because her anxiety will shoot through the roof and she will shut down, and we can't.
I think that's so important. I think that's so super important. So we just ain't in this at all. I think that's so important. Okay, so let me ask this question. Let me ask you this question. All right. I have a friend. Wait, don't get my stomachs now. How you just gonna start taking pictures? Okay, look.
Me recording. He is disrespectful. What's happening?
So disrespectful. You can't put me next to her and her flat ass, bitch. You can't do that. Anyway, all right. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So I have a friend who's getting married at the end of July. Okay. She's in Chicago. Shout out to Chicago, my hometown. All right, so I do plan on going to the wedding. All right, so I'm kind of looking around and I'm noticing that, like, certain things or certain aspects to the build-up of the wedding, like, I haven't heard anything about. Like, I didn't hear anything about a bridal shower. I haven't heard anything about a bachelorette party. And mind you, when I got married, she was one of my bridesmaids. Okay. I've known her since, let me see, since 2005, 2006. We met in undergrad. Okay. So I just kind of hit her like, hey, boo, you know, you doing anything,
Yeah,
you know, leading up to.
It's June now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You doing anything leading up to the what's the name? To the wedding. She's like, yeah, I'm having a bridal shower at the end of June. And I was just like, like my chest, it just kind of got, it was kicked in. You know what I'm saying? It was kicked in. So I'm like, okay. So she responds by saying, I didn't invite any of my out-of-town friends. And I said, okay. Now, mind you, yes, I'm out of town. She's still in Chicago. I'm in Maryland. But my mama and them still there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but why not? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so okay. So, I don't know, maybe like a couple weeks later, I sent her a text message, and I was like, listen, ho, because that's how I address my friends, my loved ones. Listen, ho, I'm going to come to the bridal shower. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, her response was, yay! Like, this is all in the text message. Like, W-A-H-H-H-H-H, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. She's like, yay! You know, great. I'll tell my best friend to send you the information. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm thinking, like, in that moment, I'm thinking, like, okay, you know, like, as she's saying that, I'm resending her my address, because I'm thinking, like, this is about to be, like, something that's going to come in the mail or something. All of a sudden, like, 10 minutes later, I get a text message with all the details. I'm like, it was that simple?
Well, for you, because we already sent them invitations.
You know, is that it? Okay, is that it? So, once I get the text message, you know, I told old girl that I was going to be there. And I said, so then I text my friend back, and I was like, you know, I feel some type of way that I wasn't invited. And I guess I understand what she said. Mm-hmm. I understand what she said. Just want to throw that out there. I understand what she said. I didn't agree with it. If I am someone that you consider a friend, in my opinion, if I'm someone that you consider a friend, you were in my wedding, you held my baby when she was first born, like, I've seen your daughter grow up, you know, we both graduated together, like, you know, we've traveled together, like, we're close, okay? Let me decide if I'm too far to make a bridal shower that is hella local, and, like, I don't think it's like a big, you know how some women do, like, the over, you know, like an international, they all got matching swimsuits. Like, it's not one of those. This is like hella, like, I think at either her mom's house or like one of her friends' house. Like, let me decide if I can make it to the south side.
That's what I was saying. I was like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, just extend the invitation. If
right.
I can't come,
and then if I can't come, I can't come. Am I wrong for feeling some type of way?
I don't think so, but I appreciate that you said to her, I feel away, as opposed to feeling away and not saying anything. Okay. Because I've had situations where I've found out through a third party that my friend felt away about something. I'm like, but so how? So now I don't know how to move, because I don't know about, now I got to pretend like I don't know that you feel away about this, because you didn't tell me. Because I don't want to act like I know because you didn't tell me, because then it's going to create an issue through the third party. And I don't want to do that, but I don't. So I say that to say I appreciate your saying to her, I felt the way. Not, it didn't need to blow up to anything, but because we're friends, I want you to know that I feel a way that you didn't invite me, and that's it.
Okay,
that's it.
Now,
you should be able to go to your friends and say that. That's what I mean.
I know she said that's it. You said that's it. Wait, do you have anything to add? I mean, I don't think so, because I saw you. Okay, go ahead. No, I want to hear this. Yes. You know, you're the only penis of the group, so I'm trying to hear.
So, you gotta use a context clue. So, not inviting my friends out of town. Translation.
We move my hair so I can hear this. Hold on. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't like that. That's what I got out of it.
Oh.
That's an excuse.
Wait a minute. And they both Geminis. This is interesting.
Maybe a fake yay, all that.
So I shouldn't have paid attention to the yay, is what you're saying.
No, the yay was fake.
The yay was fake. You know what I'm saying? The yay was fake.
Fuck that bridal shower and the wedding.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Wait, whoa. Okay, so hold on.
It's up thing.
Hold on, let me put a little check right now.
It's up thing.
Okay.
And it's not. It might not be because she don't mess with you, but what I'm finding out with friends and with any people, a lot of people be jealous of you. You got married first.
No, no, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I know you go watch it.
And it don't come out till shit like this.
Well, they do say, marriages. What is it? Marriages and funerals. You find out who your friends are.
Yes, because I haven't spoken to my maid of honor since I got married.
Wow.
But hold on. So I put a little check mark by that. So my other question was, now that you've said that, because it's funny that you made a comment about how your friend, after you can only joke with her for a couple minutes before the anxiety kicked in. Now I am a big jokester, as you all know, but I'm also very sensitive. And I will talk about your mama, but I don't want to talk about mine. So,
Pisces, right?
Pisces.
Uh-huh.
But no. So, my other question was, because I actually thought about what you said. When I got married, one of the things that really bothered me was the fact that I found out that 3 people that attended my wedding really didn't fuck with me. One of them being my maid of honor. And I think that's different from like your bridesmaids. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be bae. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I had a homegirl from college, and I had a homegirl that I knew, but I kind of met her through my husband, so it was easy for me to be like.
And they were all at your bridal party?
But no, they weren't all at my bridal party. But they sat their asses down at $125 a plate. Maybe just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
So, for me, I would have personally wanted to know how they felt about me before they came to the wedding, because those seats could have been available for 3
Someone
people
else
that
who
wanted, that really did fuck
absolutely.
with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the question that I have is, because I thought about what Wing said, I thought about like the excuse of, well, you out of town
location.
makes absolutely, it's a garbage excuse, in my personal opinion. Now, I could understand it if it was like in Belize, or if it was, you know what I'm saying, like if it's something that I needed a passport for, or it was going to cost me X amount of dollars.
Even then, I would think you tell people you're getting married and this is where it's going to be.
Right.
The invitation will be out later.
I'm just trying to give a segue,
Gotcha.
right? So, but for something where, it's nothing for me. I make several trips to the crib a year. Several trips. Okay. So that excuse was just like, I didn't want to hear it. So my question is, do I say something now? Because I'm thinking like myself, I don't want her to invite me out of obligation. Like she feels like she needs to invite me because she was in my wedding and we've known each other, blah, blah, blah. But she really doesn't.
The bridal shower?
I'm asked, no, should I go to the wedding as well, like the bridal shower and the wedding?
Okay.
And the question is, do I have a conversation with her before, or do I have a conversation with her afterwards, after she gets married?
Are you saying you feel away?
Well, I wanted to talk to her about like the whole thing. Like I just wanted kind of to express to her, like I felt hella slighted. I mean, I told her I felt some type of way, but that was like via text message. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to have this, just like you said, like the conversation. I feel is needed if this person is, if I think that this person is my friend.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like if you feel the conversation is needed, then have the conversation. If you don't feel that the conversation is going to weigh your relationship one way or the other, then wait until after the wedding.
What you mean when?
Do I have this conversation before the wedding or after the wedding?
Or you could have it.
Or depending on how long the bridal shower.
Depending on how long you're going to be in Chicago, you can have it that weekend.
Shit, you had a conversation. Damn, what's up?
We gonna call her?
You need to know.
I mean, it's well, okay. So let me ask you this: so you feel slighted?
Why would you even go?
You think she does? So
you gonna go? Didn't have conversations afterwards, and she say, "I don't fuck with you."
Well, here's
and
the
you
thing.
Went?
I don't think that that's it. I think that she invited you because you're her friend.
Okay.
You're going because you're her friend. She
invited me to the wedding. She didn't invite me to the bridal shower.
Let's
be clear.
She invited you to the wedding because you was in her wedding. Let's be clear.
Because she was in her wedding. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. But then I don't know if that's true. I think because for me, in my mind, it would be, was she in your wedding party?
Yes.
That would be the reverse. Like, if she was in her wedding, then it would be because she was in her wedding. But she invited her because she wants her there.
No.
That's what I think.
She wasn't there. She invited everything.
Not necessarily. I mean,
I'm gonna
listen. I mean, if close enough, as a close enough friend, she should be invited to everything. But everybody doesn't get invited to everything too. There's also that. Like, there are. I mean, just it may not be a man thing. I don't know, but I know that it is a woman thing. We don't invite everybody everywhere. All our friends don't mesh well in all situations. So depending on what it is, if it's my birthday, everybody's probably going to be invited to my birthday. But I'm getting married. It's my bachelorette. I have some friends that turn up ain't really their thing.
It's 11:30.
We're
still going out.
I might even let them know, but I already know they're not coming. But I'm gonna just tell them just for the sake of telling them. Mm-hmm. So, and then the bridal shower was the same way. Bridal shower was, all uppity and bougie and proper and prep, and it might be like two of my ratchet friends that can tone it right. The rest of them, girl, we see you at the bachelorette. Right. I got time for that.
Right. So does that make a difference?
So that to
hearing that, because men rock totally.
And then for women,
different.
The wedding oftentimes it sits above everything else.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for it. So I'm bringing you here, and I'm inviting you here, and I want you to sit here and eat and partake and view this.
She get married in Chicago,
on my dime.
Bridal shower too far with the wedding night in the same place.
But the wedding is more significant.
Ooh.
The wedding is more significant.
Ooh. Okay.
I get it though. I get it.
You gotta understand,
and it's like if I'm going
how it was on my shoulders.
If I know you're already traveling for the wedding, I'm not going to ask you to also travel for the bridal shower and also travel for the bachelorette.
So maybe that's what she meant. Can
No, because it's different.
It's not different.
No.
Because, like you said, she's from there and she got an appearance there. And she always makes trips, and she knows that.
She's always home, but it don't mean she's going to be home then. And again, I'm not saying she couldn't have extended the invite. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, let her
because
say.
That's really what the whole kit and caboodle is about.
Let her say.
Extend the invite.
I'm not going to go twice.
The invitation
I agree.
is what really hurt, or should I say the lack thereof.
And I think for me, if it were me, that's what I would have done. I would have been like, hey, babe, so, the wedding's this day. We're going to a bridal shower and bachelorette. All of that's going to be here. Just let me know if you want to travel all 3 times. I'll make sure you get invitations to everything. That's how I would have moved. But again, it's knowing your friends. So you have to decide whether the way this friend is moving is how you have expected her to move, or if it's her normal behavior, or if she's acting in a different way.
This is a little different.
So
this is a little different, but we've never had anything this major and significant really, really happen.
So I would say if you feel like you need to have the conversation, you do feel like you need to have the conversation. Yes. Your question is when.
Yes.
I feel like I need to have a conversation with her now.
I'm always the so stupid. I'm always the sooner than later.
He's a flip side though. So he's a flip side.
I'm the sooner than later type.
Flip side too. You said she was a Gemini. So that brings into another thing. So it could have been just an artist mistake. We be having a lot going on.
Oh, here you go. Okay.
No, we have a lot going on, and she probably just moved.
That's why his name is at the bottom. Or topic.
I'm just saying that could have been it too.
And I thought about that. In all actuality, I did think about that, because when planning a wedding, shit is extra stressful. It's extra heightened. Absolutely. And it really is a lot going on, which is why I asked the question of when should I have it, because I know at the time that I was getting married, I was planning, I was in school, I had kids, it was a lot happening. I was working. And so when somebody called me about whatever, a lot of times I had time to talk to them, but if it was a conversation that, it really wasn't
high on
it wasn't high on my priority list,
nah.
So, but this whole idea of, she is a teacher, so she's closing out the school year and she's planning a wedding. But if I could just say, I think the wedding's already planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, she married a childhood friend. I think it's like maybe 30 people coming. Like, it's hella small. Like, so that's why I, had like devils, on my shoulder, like, this bitch don't fuck with you. You need to call her and talk to her.
But then that's even the more reason to know that she does, because you're in that small number. It's easy. It's easy to be one of 250 people invited to a wedding. It's easy.
Very easy.
It's easy. But to make the 30 cut,
right,
or even the 50 cut, even the 100 cut, to make that cut between two people, it's two of them, and they're trying to have a 100-person wedding. So I got 250 friends. You got 250 friends, and we only get invited 50 each.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get
You
married.
make the cut. What happened?
Go to bed. Go
What is
to
that?
bed. He talking about some
50
go
friends.
to get married. That is not the biggest issue with the goddamn guest list. He said, "Well, then you should get married. If you got
30 people at your wedding, you don't need to get married. You might just go elope.
just go.
Say you
You're
just-
so disrespectful. He's so disrespectful. He's so disrespectful. This gonna be your last one right here. So savor this.
Listen,
I'm sick of him already.
All right,
Can
so
we take a break real quick?
so that's to say, yeah.
Okay, man.
All right, well,
Shit.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
King meets the ghetto prince. It's T.I.
the king.
Plus, Friday night, June 21st, at the new anthem on the DC Waterfront Subway. T.I. along with the Big G and the Backyard Band. You got it, baby.
This is the PYB
Hosted by Miles from the Goodman League and music by DJ Mick. Plus Ocean. For tickets, go to edimusik.com. T.I. with Big G and the Backyard Band. June 21st at the new anthem. Be there.
all right, so
We back. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think when he said y'all ready.
he was over there pushing the button. All right, so in us trying to have better relationships, that would mean that we were making better decisions also as individuals. So, however, we are still, as a culture, I guess I should say, or people, not getting married, but still having babies.
I feel attacked.
Marry her.
Throw that out there. Because my kids came first.
So, we wanted to know what we doing out here. We making these babies out of wedlock. We ain't getting married. What are we doing? And he, it was brought up in the context of, as a culture, we're supposed to be or should be trying to make better decisions to
They
advance
should
the
be building.
culture and
We get
build
with people
and
don't
do
have no
better.
damn agenda. Go ahead, dating for a hobby. Relationships should be investments. It's not hobbies.
I was trying to keep a straight face. This one won't let me be great.
I'm just okay. My bad. Oh
So-
my gosh. Okay.
So what do we think is happening? Do we think people don't want to be in relationships?
No, it's what happened was
I jumped. I went the wrong way. I was supposed to go here.
You went there though. Oh, well, you kind of went back.
what happened was sex became easier to get.
Did it though?
Yeah, it became way easier. Ain't no 30-day rule. Shit, it's shit, it's
So
3.
that Steve
It's on
Harvey,
site now.
Steve Harvey stuff is for real.
Back in the day, it was 90 days. The woman waited and all that. You had to
Were we
really,
waiting 90 days?
you had to really, you had to really
We
quarter.
was at least waiting until we got to high school. I'll say that. These ones is out here back flipping and busting it open in 6th grade. God damn.
Listen. So what's happening? Are we not? Are we not encouraging our children to wait?
Again,
Are we not having the
Because I'm
conversation?
the only one up here with kids, so I'm personally feel attacked.
You weren't a child, though.
I
I mean, they were out of wedlock, but you weren't a child. I guess.
It's true. But I do think that. Wait, are we talking about? No. What are we talking about?
What are we
We
doing?
can kind of link them.
Okay, so
So where let me say this. Where I was supposed to go was, as far as bettering our relationships, are we acknowledging and addressing our own issues, because that would help us improve our relationships?
no, we're not. I mean, across the board, the whole answers to everything that we're gonna talk about today. I'm just gonna throw that out.
We ain't
there.
doing shit.
Right, we're asking you, but we already know that.
We just out here living.
Right, and the answer is no. And I think the reason is just because I think now people are just there. It's so easy to be selfish. And it comes with everything. You can be selfish in work, you can be selfish in your personal life, you can be selfish in your friendships, you can be selfish in, because you have, most people have this fake network that they feel like they have access to, right? They have these friends that aren't really their friends. And I'm not even talking about my last situation. I'm just talking about like when you have a following.
In general,
yeah. When you have a following, or when you
social media,
when you have things like that, it gives you like this false sense of security that everything that you do is correct, everything that you say is correct, every move that you make is correct, and you don't need to change. And
you can't be corrected.
So it's like you have to a person would have to make an individual change for themselves that they want to see something different. And I think that this touches on what you were talking about as far as like you making certain decisions in your personal life and with your friendships. I know that I've been trying to make better decisions with how I move and operate with different people. And we don't know what you're doing because your phone's ringing. So but I think that it's really easy to just kind of get into this bubble of me, and I don't need to change. And if you don't rock with how I am, then screw you. We can move on to the next person. Like, it's very easy, because talking and having conversations and being mad and then getting over it, that takes growth. That takes a certain sense of like, you know, like some like maturity. Thank you. That some people just refuse to do.
Be.
Yeah, to be. So, as far as the kids out of wedlock thing and the less marriages, you know,
I think that's how it interconnects. Like, we're all selfish. So,
well,
in being selfish, you're not open to the compromises and the what's necessary to be in a relationship with another person.
Because it's hard. It's hard as hell. It really is. I personally, I remember when we first started this, I told Wayne, I was like, I don't really want to talk about our relationship on camera or whatever. And I still feel a little apprehensive talking about it, but since I'm going to be attacked on this Saturday afternoon, then, you know, hey, I got to represent my people.
Attacking you.
But relationships are hard, and marriages, totally different realm of relationships. That stuff is hard. And I'm like, I mean, I'm new. I don't even think 18 months new. So it's very difficult to deal with, because when you're dating, you're freer, right? You can leave when you want to. You know, you can throw in their face how you ain't married when you get ready.
Where my ring at?
You know what I'm saying? But like when you get married,
once you take that step,
when you take a step, it's a whole nother realm that you have to think about. And sometimes people do not think about what happens once, like, everyone stops throwing the rice and you know, acknowledging over the pictures and you know, all this other, right? Well, they don't think about what happens with that. And without disclosing any details about my own situation, I'll just say that it's hard. It ironically, me having kids before I got married and us blending the family is not the hard part.
Okay.
I acknowledge that into the fact. I think that attributes to the fact that I'm just an awesome mother and my kids are amazing. But no, it is that's the easy part. And make no mistake, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, and I'm not bragging about this, I'm just simply acknowledging this. I think a lot of the reason why the transition was so easy is because my daughters don't have their fathers in their life. Again, I'm not bragging about this, I'm simply acknowledging it, because my husband doesn't have to deal with baby daddy drama, another person. It makes the transition smoother, and really my girls look to him as their father, because their own fathers do not play a role in their life. So the transition was hella smooth. Like, the day up until
does he have children?
He does not have children.
Okay.
Up until the day we got married, they had to refer to him as Mr., you know, fill in the blank name here. And that was just for me. It was me personally. I know a lot of people, especially in this area, You know, they love.
What she
they
will not
love
keep
it.
trying to do is throw us under
They
the bus.
love that's my daughter, that's my son, that's my this, that's my that. I personally don't agree with it. That's just me, because it's hella easy when you're not married. It's hella easy to just be like, oh, well, that's my this and that's my that. So you want to do the claiming of everything except the person that birthed them. It's speaking from like a man to a woman, like the woman having the kids type of thing. And even vice versa. I mean, I get it. I understand like developing that connection. But for me, in my house, and if anybody want to argue about it, I will be in Bowie all day today. Okay? But for me, it was just super important for the girls to just kind of like have that boundary just in case the nigga walked off the altar.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that you saying that's my daughter?
Who daughter? What do you mean? The same as saying my daughter. I don't get it.
Yeah. You was like, everybody's quick to say that's my daughter, that's my son, that's mine. Is it them referring to him as Mr. Name, you saying that's my daughter?
She's saying by them calling him Mr. or whatever, that's pretty much saying this.
Maybe I misunderstood.
That's his daughter.
No. What I'm saying I didn't finish the thought. They called him Mr. Whatever up until the wedding, and then after we got married, now they refer to him as Dad.
Right, but you said something, and I might have misunderstood what you were saying. You were like, especially in this area, everybody's my daughter, my son. I thought you were saying that in the ability to be able to separate.
No, what I was saying was people that are in relationships where they're not married, but I guess they're in these long-term relationships. And I get all of this package deal stuff, but like they just okay, for example, you're in a relationship with a guy, you don't have kids, but he has kids or a kid, and you've been dating 3+ years, but when you speak about his kid, you refer to his kid as yours. And for me, that wasn't an option that I wanted. I understood that my boyfriend or fiance at the time felt a connection with my girls, and even my girls felt a connection with him. But I personally made it so that there was a distinction of like them not like calling him dad, or him not calling them his daughters until it was actually like the marriage was solidified.
Okay. So then what was when you were saying in this area we all quick to say my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. What was the reference to that?
That was talking about the boyfriend or the girlfriend calling the person that they're dating's kids their daughter.
Reverse, gotcha.
Yes,
okay.
that's
all
what
right.
I meant.
Other person. Okay.
Yes, that's what I meant.
So this one I want to and I said this on an episode before, but when you say marriage is hard, I've never been married.
Let me move my hair.
But I said this on a couple episodes before. The reason why I think marriage is hard is because too many people get married and really don't know each other. That's why, I'm 8 years in. That's why I say 6, 7 year minimum before you marry somebody. Because, you really don't know the person until.
Y'all see the slow head turn?
That's why it's hard. Y'all marrying people and then a year later they doing different stuff.
Well, here's the thing. You're always learning.
You only know them for 12 months before you marry them.
You're always learning a person. 1, 2. I don't think that anybody was saying 12 months, but I personally think that
I think that
8 years is a bit excessive. And depending on your relationship, you can be together 10 years and still not know a person, but that's a lack of the two people.
Another problem.
That's the two people not
too
learning
many
each
women
other.
are in
So
love
it's not
with
about
the fact
that.
that
And we'll be right back.
We just got here.
See, just gonna say something. Okay.
Too many women is in love with the fact of just being married. They don't even care who they get married to. They don't even fucking like the people they with. They just in love with the fact of being married, which is crazy. That's why that shit don't work.
But I mean, I don't know that. I get that on one level if you're talking about somebody.
Okay,
who
what about when NBA
in
players
3 months?
jump up and marry somebody that they just met at the strip club? I mean, since you want to put it all on women,
Right.
What
Right.
about that?
Right.
Take 2 to get married though.
But we ain't.
No, but you wasn't talking about 2 just a second
getting
ago.
married unless y'all proposing.
Hello. Hello.
99.9% of the time. We're not going to talk about the 0.1% of women who out here.
I'm glad you brought it up, but
proposing to men.
99% of the time.
And if you are sat down,
Sat.
miss. But go ahead.
99% of the time, women will say yes to anybody. They want the ring.
I don't know about
It's about the
anybody.
ring. I mean, not anybody, but like, if I'm saying anybody.
I get what you're saying, but this whole like throwing it all on the women
I'm
stuff,
right.
like, cut that out.
Right.
No, but-
Like-
So women not in love with the fact of being married?
okay,
All
but
women are not in love with,
I ain't say
with
all.
the idea of
No.
being
A
married.
lot of women are though.
a lot of women
A lot of
are.
women- I mean, we
but
grow up.
but if your logic is women are getting married because they just want the wedding or they just want to be married and they're not and they don't know the person.
It's the attention factor. Like you said, when all that shit is gone.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is men always know what they want, and the reason why the divorce rate is what it is because women are just
accepting marriages with people they don't know.
Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm not saying. I'm not
That
saying
sound like
all.
what
That's
saying.
exactly what it sounds like you're
I'm
saying.
not saying all. I'm not saying all.
We're not saying all. We're talking
Neither
about
are
some.
we. Neither are we.
But the weddings are all about marriage is all about women. That's why I'm giving the women most of the blame. The men don't want that shit. We can carry on. We got titles don't mean shit to us.
No, ain't no us. You. Let's be very clear, America. This ain't got shit to do. You ain't speaking for all men. Like you just can't jump and be like men don't want the wedding. You
but
can't say
yeah,
that. You can't tell us
But the man
not to throw every
proposing-
woman in the category, but
Right,
then you
and then
gonna
throw all
speak
the
for
men in
all the men too. I will not be bullied today, sir.
The ones I know.
The ones you know. We ain't gonna
yeah.
talk about the people you know.
Most people I know that are married, they didn't care about the marriage. They just like,
And they care about the ceremony, the wedding.
yeah, that's the marriage.
No, that's not the
And
marriage. The marriage is every day of your life after.
Yes.
That day is the wedding. So you saying men don't care about the wedding?
Yes. And I was one that growing up, I wanted a wedding because big weddings ran in my family. When my grandparents passed, that's all I want to see. I want to get married from my grandparents. So that's my whole goal. Once they passed, that kind of
Change.
So you was just
Change
like,
for you.
I'm just gonna be a
We just go
boyfriend
to the
forever.
baby at the
Now
altar.
that the
JFP.
grandparents have gone to see the Lord.
No.
I mean,
So-
I will say this.
I'ma say
I do believe that for the women that, not for the women, that men, they propose because they decided that they want to marry that woman. I will agree that the whole wedding, the show, if you will, is primarily
Primarily is a good word.
Is a
them the ring ain't
is
right. Y'all
woman
don't even.
is woman folks here.
No. That's not what That's
We're
what
not
you're
going
not
there.
gonna
We're not
do.
gonna do
sir.
that.
You're not gonna do
What
that.
you're not gonna do?
So let me ask you this, because I've been going back and forth with a couple people over this topic. Before you get married, before you get married, do you live together first, or you get engaged and then live together?
It's up to the people involved.
It's different, folks. The different strokes.
It's up to the people involved. Yeah.
This one makes more sense.
It depends on the people
It
involved.
really does involve the people because okay, look at Megan Good and that fine husband of hers, Devon, somebody or
Franklin.
other. Yes, they did everything as far as what they told the world by the scripture, right? Because that's what people really like to boil it down to is like what God accepts and what He doesn't accept. No sex. They didn't live together. They didn't, it was very but for them, it was very important because from my understanding, in the past, they had done those things. They had the premarital sex before, and they had shacked up or whatever with someone else, and they had done this and that. So for them, when they came together, it was important for them to, well, let's just see what happens if we
do
follow this other
we tried
way.
it this way.
And it worked for them.
It's interesting that you bring that up because, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but like you said, we have these conversations all the time, and people obviously have them just for the sake of having them because most men aren't even receptive to that idea. Now, I don't know who brought it up in their relationship.
right.
It may have come from him, and I would think that more women would be receptive to it coming from a man.
I was
But
under
if
the impression
It came from her.
that it was like a both of them type of
It
thing.
might have been, but I mean, if a woman, it was just this week I saw this conversation. If a woman meets a guy and tells him that she
I'm
is
not
not
having
having sex until marriage, he's looking at her like, "Oh, you've been a hoe your whole life, and now you want me to wait." like the idea of not having sex isn't even an option.
And he gonna cheat anyway.
So,
But it shouldn't be.
what shouldn't be?
The idea of having not having sex.
It shouldn't be an option.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an opinion.
You go buy a car, look at the house, you get to walk through test drive. Man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So what?
Women,
You get married and
humans aren't houses
and then he don't like
or
like
cars.
Then with them he's stuck with in a commitment.
How many houses have you lived in?
I don't know.
Exactly. So walking through it first didn't really make a difference.
I'm just, at every house you walk through, you ain't buy anyway. So what damn difference does it make? You know what? It's got me filled up tonight. Oh my
To
God.
bring us back on topic, though, I guess that goes to, like we were talking about, acknowledging or addressing our own issues. So the things that we've done or that we've experienced that formulate or guide our decisions going forward, are we doing that? Are we taking our experiences and using them to make better decisions? And for example, I've done it this way in this relationship. I did this way. Now I want to try it this way. Are we doing that, or are we still doing the same things over
That's
and
the
over
problem.
again, and expecting a
Trying too
different
much.
result?
I think as a whole, we're doing it the same way over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that we just have a couple sprinkles of people that will say to themselves, I want something different. I want something different. Let me give you a quick example. I had a friend one time that told me, she called me and she was like, you know what, ho? Because we always
we say
terms of endearment. And she says, when you call me, you'll call with a situation or issue and we'll talk about it in depth. We on the phone an hour, 2 hours, whatever. And then you just get off the phone. And hell, you didn't ask me how my day was. You know what I'm saying?
It was a vent session.
You know what I'm saying? But when she said it, I remember immediately my Piscean nature kicked in. Like, I'm feeling attacked. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I just kind of went into this like bubble. But then, I creeped on out, came on out, and I thought about it. And I called her back, and I was like, okay, ho, you might be right. And so now, because I'm just drama-filled for whatever reason, oftentimes I do find myself calling my friend like, bitch, let me tell you what happened. But after I do that, I always make sure a couple days later, or maybe even the same night, I might call him back, or I'll text him, or I'll call him a couple days later and be like,
check in with them.
what's going on with you? Like, I ain't heard nothing, what's going on? But I always kept that in mind. But it was something personally I took, because I didn't realize I was doing it, and I changed that. And so I say all that to say, people have to make the better decision. Somebody else could have heard what they said.
But somebody told you, though.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need that, too. We're not telling our friends.
Somebody could have heard that
up.
and been like, called you and been like, let me tell you what this bitch said. And then whole friendship would have been gone. But you never learned how to do better with your friendships moving forward.
Exactly.
So I think it's all on an individual basis. But like if we line up 100 people, are we addressing our own issues? Nah. Maybe not of us
A lot
are.
of people need counseling.
And then I think that is what taking us back into the next topic. What is part of why so many of us aren't getting married, or why so many marriages are failing, because we're not dealing with our shit before we get into them, or while we're in them.
This is very true. A lot of times, I will say this. I don't know about the whole, like, people get married because they're more in love with the idea of the
Being
marriage
married.
and all this. I think, in my personal opinion, I feel like one of the reasons why marriages are not working is because people are under the impression, a lot of people are under the impression that when you find a person, that other person is supposed to help you find your happiness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when they don't, because you've never addressed your own unhappiness, and that doesn't happen, they internalize it, and then it comes out, and then it begins to make problems. And then it's like a domino effect. You can't communicate. It throws your it throws the sex life off. It throws off the finances, because you begin to get
pH balance.
Wait, what?
We be here, and then he take a sip of that goddamn joy juice, and then he just throw the whole shit off.
Stress can throw off your pH balance, but damn it, how would you say that?
I be wanting to be here with him. I do. I really do.
Yeah, the majority of y'all are broken. That's the problem. You can't.
Y'all?
If you don't heal, you can't.
Y'all?
Yeah, broken. If y'all don't heal before you get to your next relationship, you just putting broken pieces on top of broken pieces.
I mean,
Everything broken. I ain't never seen glass come back together. Gotta heal yourself, people. Heal yourself.
got a point.
God damn his point. Okay, ain't nobody listening to Wig. Like, if anybody taking advice from Wig, you need her. I don't care if his shit sound amazing. You
Two
need
broken
help.
people only last so long. Trying to tell you.
One broken person that has no idea or even a desire to want to fix themselves
But I will
is
say
not
this
going
to your point of looking for happiness in a marriage. I do looking for the other person to make them happy in a marriage. I do think that there should be a little bit of that, not as a whole. Like you should be happy as a person going into your marriage, but you should be able to find another level of happiness with your spouse.
Yeah,
because you should be.
It's nobody's responsibility to make you happy.
I didn't say that's not what I said.
That's not what she said. See what happens when you don't listen. See what happens when you don't listen.
When we decide to do this together, I am helping you be a better person, and you're helping me be a better person by individually being our best selves and individually being happy. So you bring in your happy, I'm bringing my happy. We're going to find this additional happiness together. That's what I said.
Another thing, some of y'all best selves just ain't enough.
Okay, sir.
Well,
Best selves.
I mean, it might not. My best self is not going to be for everybody, but it's for some damn
Right,
body.
like
I might got to go through some frogs and some dogs and some reptiles and all that before I get my Prince Charming. But he out there.
He there.
I think.
He there. We know he there.
I think he out there.
We know he there.
So with that, I'm gonna throw this out there before we go to break, and we're gonna come back with it. So all of that, are we having? We talk about people not addressing their issues and not acknowledging their shit, and then there's less marriages, but their kids out of wedlock. Is that because people don't really believe in monogamy anymore? Are we moving into a?
Well, the kids come because,
First of
Well,
all,
the kids just come for fucking. We know that,
Right.
First of all, I'm gonna break out this. When I explain this to y'all, so here's how it works. So a woman gets pregnant for 9 months, right? She can only have a baby once a year, right? Men, we could get 100 people pregnant in a year. That's how
365 pregnant.
Exactly. That's how the user was set up. It was made for men to be.
First of all,
no, shush. Made to be what?
Men to be what do they call it?
polyamorous.
Yes.
And we'll be back.
I want to move this table, but it's so strong.
Hey, DC, check this out, man. I'm gonna be a club anthem, you understand that, with the backyard band, man. And I'm gonna be there on this date. The old nigga right here gonna tell me what date I'm gonna be there. On June 21st, you understand what I'm saying? That old nigga right there said it, you understand? DC, club anthem. Yeah, coming big.
I need some food. I'm gonna be drunk in 3 seconds. I ain't ate shit all day but a banana.
Every
All right,
time I
we
see
back.
this,
So we're gonna wrap.
I
Listen.
just feel like that's what somebody said in the comments. That was Harriet Tubman that tripped her.
We sorry, y'all. We was
Kirkpatrick.
as we starting to tape. We looking at that video that I know y'all seen with the bride.
Yeah.
Look, he ain't here anyway. With the bride and her groom and the bridal party, and they decided they would skateboard
There's no more.
out of the I guess from the wedding venue or somewhere,
Oh my God,
or they
yes.
just thought it would be a cute video. Everybody wants to go viral. This is why
Well, she did. You got Got your wish, girl.
She got her dress, her long wear dress on, and she got on her tennis shoes.
Well, the first time I saw the video, I didn't even see her. I just went directly to the bottom, and I just waited. I just waited.
Is she in the middle?
The ancestors was like,
She holding up. She got her bouquet in her hand, and she's halfway holding up her dress with the other hand, and they go skating, and she's kick, push, kick, push,
yes.
coast, and that have a coast in it, and that dress got that wheel.
Patrick.
I cannot. I don't understand
We don't get it. Hilariousness. All right. He said something before we went to break talking about the reason why men should be it's okay for them to be in what's the word? Polyamorous relationships, but women, we just supposed to be barefoot and pregnant because we can only have a baby a year.
Because we can only have one baby.
I know that was a bad paraphrase.
Every 9 months, and they can make multiple babies a day.
And you know he was so proud of that thought. You know he was. But ain't
He said
nobody
it with a
listening.
straight face.
Ain't nobody listening to Wayne. Social media, you sick son of a bitch. I mean, it's just like you have options. You have way more options than you did when in the 80s and the 90s. I blame MySpace. And so that's it and that's all. Like, if you have options and you jump out the window with it and somebody like, okay, cool, then that's what ends up happening. It's no rhyme or reason. I think people cheat because
they can.
I mean, I would love for it to be a long topic and how this one had this many wives in the Bible and this culture teaches us this and all this. I would love for it to be that way. But cheating is a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you either do it or you don't. And that's it.
And we'll see y'all next week. No, I'm kidding. Short and sweet. No.
Right. But it's the truth, though.
It's interesting because there's like, like we said earlier, there's a whole, side chicks. There was a period where that was the catchphrase, side chicks be winning, and all of that. But it's very, what is the word I want to use? So for one, it's now it's gone the other way.
What you mean?
I want to say that in our, in this strong black independent woman thing, and we owning our sexuality, that there are now a lot more women, and I'll say publicly because I think that it was probably always the case, just like cheating was always the case. There were always side chicks. It just became a period where social media made it more visible.
Yep.
But there are now women with side dudes, where it was always, I think it was an unspoken belief that it was just men out here cheating.
No, men
had multiple
talk
women.
too damn much.
That's what it was.
And
that's what it was.
Sis to sis, we just
We
knew
know
better
how
than
to
to
move.
say something. That's all that was. We always been out here in these streets.
But now women
I'm a
are out
God-fearing
here, proudly, the same. I guess the same as the men were proud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I've got a husband and I've got a boyfriend, or I've got 3 boyfriends, or I'm doing me, which was always one of my favorite lines. I used to be on my tag. I miss my tags, but so all that stuff. So where it comes from, because in the conversation, relationships, all of that, but a couple things have happened in the last week or come out in the last week, and one of the videos that I saw. And I didn't watch the video. I refused to actually watch the video.
They've seen you, sir. Just walk in front of them.
Actually seen the video. I just keep saying on my timeline where apparently a woman was separated, and she went to her husband's home, and his current woman was in the bed, and she attacked this woman.
Now, why she do that?
And recorded it, obviously, because I'm talking about a video, and posted it to social media. But did
the wife win?
But apparently the wife won.
Okay,
the wife won.
Sometimes they be jumping out there.
Side there with blood running down her forehead.
Oh, no.
And the dog, everybody's talking about the dog, because apparently the dog was sitting there like, bitch. Like,
Oh, wow.
But the wife is on camera, you know, trying to out the side chick, and apparently she's pregnant.
The
wife is pregnant.
Oh, the wife. And she beat up the woman?
Beat up the woman, but apparently they've been separated for a minute.
They ain't been separated no less than 9 months.
Again, I didn't watch the video. Wayne, did you watch the video?
What video?
The one where the wife beat up the side chick?
Your dad handled that kiss?
You didn't see it? I needed y'all to have seen it so y'all could elaborate, because it was crazy. But I refused to watch it. I wasn't interested. I don't want green. Give me blue. Or black, whatever. Purple, yeah. Oh, blue, yeah. So, all that to say. And then there was this other question. That there was a baller mail, if anybody follows Baller Alert. I think people be making shit up for this. Or
It's
maybe,
possible.
Maybe Baller Alert makes it up themselves, because some of this shit just be wild. And the woman wrote in and wanted to know how she should tell her family that she has a husband and a boyfriend.
Right.
And they all live together.
Why she gotta tell her family anything? If the husband accepted, what she gotta tell anybody else about?
Why you gotta tell everybody anything? She's been married about a year. And her husband has always known that
I'm quite sure your family knew you was a hoe.
She ooh.
Sir! Why she gotta be a hoe?
Why she
Because
gotta be a
her husband is
hoe?
okay with it?
Huh?
Her husband is okay with it?
Is it cheating? Is it cheating if they know?
No.
It's not cheating if they know?
No.
Yeah, so, what you need all that for?
These Skittles is everything.
Why did I hit you? Or why did...
No, I said, what you need all that for?
What you need? Who need all what for?
A husband and a boyfriend.
She likes variety.
Yeah, maybe one is lacking in one department that the other one has.
One may be a little longer. One may be a little thicker.
Oh, so that's why women cheat.
One may got a better motion in the ocean.
It's coming out now.
One may be a little. One may
Is
be a
it
little
really?
more
You know what-
explorative.
Snickers. Come on back up.
That's the imaginary hairless cat.
Why did since you think you got the
need two men for them.
prescription, why do men need 2 women? Look at his ass.
They don't need 2 women.
During hair life, want. Nobody needs
Nobody
it.
wants, I don't want 2 women.
What you want, sir?
I want a family.
Nigga. Okay.
Some religions require they have more than one wife.
Name it.
Require?
Muslim. I mean, yeah. Oh, not require, but it's ordinary. Muslim.
And name another one, because y'all love using that example.
Mm-hmm.
Name another one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other joint?
Don't Mormons promote that?
Yeah, Mormons. There we go.
Girl, you wasn't supposed to have
That's what
I know. I wasn't supposed to help him. I was not supposed to help him. I wasn't. I know.
Christians just ain't legal, but the pastors be cheating on their wives every day.
Is this why they chicken be fried at the Dutch market?
It's what-
Everybody have
What you say? That's what it
Everybody
means.
have it.
Yeah, the preachers, I said Christians for real. All them preachers in the church be.
No, you ain't gonna drag every Christian pastor into jail.
No, it's funny you say that because it was a thing that I read something. Somebody was like, when the pastor say, let him work on you or let him work through you. He's talking about God, not the preacher.
I think that. Shit. I think that. No, I think, you know what? Polygamy and monogamy is a individual trial type of situation.
Is
Like,
monogamy natural?
Sir, I would just like for you to not be so quick on the draw answering some of these questions. Because
I think marriages
think
need to
about
be
it.
like driver's license. You need to get them renewed every 10 years or something.
That's an option. You think it should be required?
ma'am.
No, I mean, you can renew your vows every year, every so often.
No, he's talking
No,
about
renewed.
marriage.
Yeah, maybe if you want to get out or,
This is what he's talking about.
My bad. Sorry.
Should have an option.
Start over.
Yeah.
In this one and get a new one?
Yeah, like an NBA contract. Yeah.
I think that's folks just out here being free agents.
Three options. Get a three. Look, we're gonna do a 7-year option.
Right, marriage leasing.
And after that, it's a 10-year contract with a 7-year option. we can buy out them last 3 years.
Not
or
listening
whatever.
to your ass at all.
All right. Enough of that. He's having too much fun. All right, so we're gonna get into this hot shit real quick.
Real
This up for y'all
Real quick.
on this week's episode.
Hold on, you ain't include my man in that joint? No, my other man.
Who?
I ain't talking about him.
Who?
50.
It's either one or the other.
You
I'm not
get
wasting
one.
my time talking about both these characters.
What's the one talking about? 50 Cent,
so which
somebody else
one you
owing him
want?
money?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Why everybody keep borrowing 50 Cent though?
Why he keep loaning it?
There's that.
Let's start there.
That nigga works in the bank.
Because he
My
trolling.
God, she's like
trolling
my
out here in
mama.
these streets. He trolling out here in these streets. He loaning that money with a flat interest rate. As opposed to the bank want 27.2%.
I just don't understand. Like,
Bro, Tavy said he
is
don't
this
owe him
what
no
rich
money.
people do?
No,
they
just a
just
minute.
go and
I was gonna say,
ask
but then they
folks.
say he gave him $100,000.
Yeah. Towards the bill.
Is this
But
what
did he actually owe it, or is it just like
What y'all here borrowing $300,000 for?
I was just about to ask, is this what rich people do? They just ask for
It's
ask. They
working?
just borrow.
Power's working. Power's paying.
Right.
If they paying.
You on his payroll. Why would you borrow from your boss?
I just don't understand. This is not what regular folks do.
That's not what regular rich people problems. All right, so that was a
Maybe
quick
he
one.
need to
We
do
getting
a
out of
shout
there.
out to the ladies, and more ladies. Send in your cash app because he gotta pay 50. He got to pay 50.
Everybody got to pay 50. All right, so we're gonna get into his favorite person to talk about.
They trying to put this man under the jail. This is getting ridiculous.
Mr. Kelly has now been indicted on an additional 11 sexual related charges.
Crazy. But Harvey,
Don't die.
Harvey Weinstein settled.
Somebody
Why can't
made
he
a
settle?
reference to Bill Cosby and saying that Bill had money, and I guess that's why his charges took so long to come to.
Yeah, I was going to
Did I
clear
see
out
that?
that money because he in
Oh,
jail.
anything about that? I didn't catch the correlation, but
I don't know. Is Harvey Weinstein going to jail for his criminal
Nope.
acts?
Nope, he
Don't
settled for
believe
44 million.
No, he set up 44 for the civil. For the criminal,
No,
is he going to jail?
No,
I don't think he was ever. Was he ever criminally charged?
no, he wasn't even indicted. He was indicted, but they let it go. Or
I
something.
think he was, which is why they're still going to trial for his criminal charges.
Okay, so his
The
trial is
civil-
still pending.
Yes,
He's
but
still pending. Okay.
but the civil case
Excuse me.
he settled for 44
Jesus.
million. I was gonna say something wildly inappropriate because sometimes when I get uncomfortable, I'll make a joke, but I ain't gonna do it.
Say it. Go ahead. Because I think I'm thinking the same thing.
I too.
I
No.
think I was on set.
No,
I think I was there.
no, it's not.
It's coming back in pieces.
Not,
I'm just saying.
not gonna do it.
Just need like
Not gonna do it.
700,000.
Not
That's
in
it.
this.
That's it.
I'm not in this. Not in this.
And other hot shit. Speaking of the shy, fictional shy, Jason Mitchell is now caught up in. Well, I don't know. He hasn't been charged, but
Yeah, he might as well be. His livelihood is still gone like
He's
hell. Like
been,
his reps have dropped him. His
he's been
shows have
dropped
dropped him. He was in a new movie that was coming out. They even dropped his ass too.
he's been accused of inappropriate sexual behavior, sexual misconduct. They haven't been any specific details or statements
better hope
from any
that-
persons, but the story is that on the set of The Chi in the first season, he was being mad inappropriate with his on-screen girlfriend. And so as a result of that, I learned from a conversation. Lena Waithe called and talked to Charlamagne God.
Shout out to Lena. We
Shout
graduated
out
from
to
the
Lena.
same high school.
And she said that. So he was charged. And apparently, when this is just coming out now, and they are currently, I think, still filming season 2, and they've
Yes.
been renewed for
Well,
season 3.
Season 2 has to be done.
Well, right, because we're up to episode 7, 8,
Yeah,
and it's,
7,
is it only
yeah.
8? I think it's only 8. So I guess season 2 is a wrap now.
Yeah.
But they've been renewed for season 3, and now this has come out. All this his behaviors have been going on since the filming of season 1.
So basically, dude, I gonna kill him.
So and everybody knew. So then the showrunner for season 2, who was brought in after the issues in season 1, she brought in a female showrunner. They had, and that person is saying that Lena knew about all of this. She didn't do anything. Blah 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 blah. Lena has since said that that is not true. She was made aware of what happened during season 1 after season 1 wrapped. They brought in counselors and they had classes and forums to teach people how to behave properly and not
commit sexual what's the sexual harassment within
right.
the
They had
so
like sexual
basically
harassment classes to hope that they thought would fix what was going on.
Right.
Then season
and
2
she
found
thought by putting more women in positions
of power that it would
kind of diffuse the situation.
Yeah. Season 2, same thing happened. That showrunner says that she was also harassed in some form.
Damn, Jason.
By him. And so Lena's like, I found out after season 1 wrapped, I put this in place. I thought that would fix the problem. It didn't. And because she doesn't run the show, she doesn't own the show. She sold the show to Showtime. Standard procedure. Apparently you create it, sell it so that they can, whatever. They decided to fire him and move in that way. And she said all that to say that, for all intents and purposes, she too could be fired. You know what I'm saying? She's in a position where she doesn't have all of the control.
Well, I think I didn't watch the interview. I read the article that kind of summarized the interview. You have to let me know if it's correct or not. But I could have sworn she also said that when it was brought to her attention, and these are the things that she put in place, and she also was kind of like, I guess when she reached out to someone to see, I guess, how she should move about, handling certain situations, that they just kind of instructed her to let HR handle it. Well, she wishes that she would have been more proactive to not just like kind of pass the buck.
Well, that was what she said was, and I'm not saying that is or isn't correct, but what I think I remember her saying is that she wasn't made aware initially.
Right.
It came to her from HR because as a show creator, director, producer, it was handled the way it was supposed to be handled. You have an issue with the books. Yeah, like
you have an issue with a coworker. You just can't go riding on a horse through.
Yeah, you go to HR. Or you go to the people who are supposed to protect you, and that's apparently what the on-screen girlfriend did. I think her name is Jennifer.
This shit has to stop.
She went to them, and they were handling it, so it became a legal thing. There wasn't really anything for her to do because it wasn't in her hands. It had to be handled the way it's supposed to be handled, which is through the HR/legal department.
But because she's the bigger name.
She's being accused of not handling it properly when she did once she knew, she did what she could do with it. After the first season, I think it wasn't clear, but I don't think it went to HR after the first season. I think it went after that. I'm thinking.
Right.
Because you did or maybe it did go to HR and it was a, collective thought. We'll do these classes. I don't think that there's no way to prove. It's not just one person. There's several people that have accused
several people.
And then it came out, of course, with this that apparently there were accusations in the filming of Straight Outta Compton also. So apparently there's a pattern. Oh wow! Is what they're saying now. So.
Well, you need help, brother.
All that to say, excuse me. I hope that he gets the help that he needs. We're all curious as to you watch the show, I'm sure.
I do.
All curious to see how the show will continue without him.
Hey, Miss Brown, I know you ain't watching, but hey, Miss Brown, the one that is not allowing. You watch the show? Mm-hmm. So the woman that Jerica was working with.
Okay.
That didn't want to provide
the property,
that didn't want the low income housing. I used to be her daughter's daycare teacher.
Oh, I know.
We famous around these parts.
We know people.
We famous around these parts.
But yeah, but shout out to The Shot. It's a great show. I got on late, but I'm caught up now.
Can we talk about why they hating on my guy Steve Harvey?
Who's
hating
Steve
on
Harvey?
Steve Harvey?
He's not on the list, sir.
Who's hating on Steve Harvey?
He's not on the list. So we can't bring him up. Him or his mustache. Okay, no.
What?
No. We're not touching
doing
this.
that?
We're not touching this.
You losing shows for what?
We're not touching this because I
It's
got
not
a track meet to try to run into it the last
So last
minute.
thing we're gonna kind of a strong topic.
It's so strong. I don't know if it could be a hot shit topic though. I've been looking at it. It is a very big topic for it to be a hot shit topic.
Who?
This one. I think these two are good. I think we should end up that.
So we
way.
shouldn't. Okay.
That is a way. That is like a topic that really should have been.
It's
up
a
there.
show topic. It's a whole show topic.
Yes.
Okay.
That's too big.
Yeah, it's a whole show talk.
So we're not gonna touch on
I
that.
agree
We're gonna
with
do
that.
that. Oh well.
As long as this nigga agrees.
I agree with you. I was outvoted, which is fine. It was just something that I know had been in the media recently, but we'll talk about it maybe next episode. We'll do that next episode.
Stop popping them out, babies.
So with that, Lord have mercy. So with that, we're gonna wrap up. Anything? June 21st.
Yes.
T.I. Backyard. The anthem. Get your tickets now.
We're going to
They're
diet.
fast.
I can't have this
Get
up
your
here.
tickets.
Oh my gosh.
Did we decide on our opening act?
Not yet. We doing so. I didn't pick.
We're gonna do another round of auditions.
Yeah.
So another
June
round.
8th.
June 8th. So you should be watching this June
$25
4th.
registration fee.
Is it June 4th when we're airing?
Yes.
So
No.
Tuesday.
Oh, that's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I know what
Yes.
you mean.
Okay. So today is you're watching this today, Tuesday, June 4th, hopefully. Auditions are
June
on the 8th, Saturday, June 8th. Where auditions gonna be?
It's called The Fridge.
At the Fridge. Go
It's,
to Wings page. Go to my page.
8th Street Southeast.
8th Street Southeast. Follow the podcast page.
6 to 11.
We'll post the audition 6 to 11 p.m. Saturday, June 8th. We'll have all the information on the
She didn't make the cut.
on the Instagram page. Well, it'll be on the Facebook Fuck Your Opinion podcast page. If you're an artist, you know an artist, you want to open up on this show.
Yeah.
Another round of auditions Saturday, June 8th. Make sure you're there. This could be your opportunity. Again, the show is at Anthem, June 21st. T.I., the king of the South, DC's own backyard band. The Fuck Your Opinion podcast will be in the building.
Shit, you didn't tell me Backyard was gonna be that move.
Brought to you by Endless Dreams.
Listen, you already know. You already know what you about to do. What's about to happen.
We getting out of here. For Shantae, for Wing, I'm IU Red. Wait, oh Lord, she get. Y'all know what she about to do, right? Y'all know what she about to do.
It's definitely about to go down. Where is that?
We're gonna take this out with a musical interlude.
Backyard.
Oh my
All right,
God.
we'll see y'all next week, y'all. Tell your daddy to dry his dishes.
I can't stand her. I cannot stand you. Oh my gosh.
Now, one of the services you provide is giving people something to talk about. Let them talk. It makes them happy, it makes them feel good. They don't believe half the shit they say. People want to talk. Yeah.